Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Maryland APEX Accelerator webinar today. Glad you could join us. I'm your host, Yasmin Razak, and I'm the Marketing and Training Coordinator. Today's topic is an introduction to government contracting, and it is brought to you in partnership with Anne Arundel Economic Development Corporation. Today's expert is Amina Parson, who is one of our procurement specialists here at the APEX Accelerator. We'll get started very shortly, and there will be opportunities for you to ask Amina your questions by typing them in the chat box on your screen. And we will pause for Q&A at the end of the presentation. As always, the slides will be shared with you after the presentation, as will the recording. For those of you who are not familiar with the Maryland APEX Accelerator, it is our mission to help Maryland businesses fully compete in federal, state, and local government procurement processes. Our services are no cost to you. So if you would like assistance, please go to our website, marylandapex.org, complete the application form, and you should receive help within about 30 business days. Okay, well, that's enough from me. Over to you, Amina.
All right. Thank you so much, Yasmin. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone in attendance for this webinar on this morning. As Yasmin said, I want to also extend a thank you to the Anne Arundel County's Economic Development Center for this collaborative opportunity. Specifically, thank you to Barbara Quay, who's the Business Development Director. And let's go ahead and get started. So my name is Amina Parson, as Yasmin stated. I'm one of the procurement specialists here at Maryland APEX. And I wanted to provide a little bit of background about myself. I graduated from Morgan State University back in 2005, where I earned a bachelor's degree in international finance. And I also, same year, started my career at the Department of Defense, where I provided support for approximately 18 years, specifically in the program management and acquisition space. And so now I'm honored to support small businesses in understanding how to navigate the government contracting landscape. And so in today's session, we're going to go over how you as small business owners or mid-sized business owners can prepare, compete, and succeed in the government sector. I'll walk you through the key processes, show you how to stand out amongst your competitors, and how to connect with your essential resources. Okay, so what are we all about? So our mission statement here at Maryland APEX Accelerator is our mission is to help position businesses registered in the state of Maryland to fully compete in the federal, state, and local government procurement processes. And here is a photo of, or several photos of our team. It consists of our program manager, who is Denise Warner, as well as our intake coordinator, who is Michael Dixon. And you all already have met Yasmin Razak, who is our marketing and training specialist. And then we also have 5 counselors, to include myself, Amina Parson, Alex Peacock, Tara Scott, Pamela Miner, and Richard Payton. We are all supporting the firms for the entire state of Maryland. And so what do we offer here at Maryland APEX? Well, one is we offer one-on-one counseling to ensure that our clients receive personalized guidance based on your unique position in the procurement process. And that includes providing strategies that are in alignment with your specific goals, whether it's priming or subcontracting on any level of government. I should also note that our trainings go beyond the basics, from decoding complex RFPs to mastering the art of proposal writing and marketing. For businesses that are unfamiliar with certifications, we walk you through the requirements and help to streamline the processes. And for those that are not clients with us at this time, we do offer trainings on our YouTube channel. So do a search for that under Maryland APEX. And we do also post trainings on our website, which is www.maryland, spelled out, apex.org. And in addition, we also offer outreach events and bid matching systems, which are designed to keep businesses informed and connected. And so these outreach events include bid matching sessions, as well as a bid match service, which is described in more detail on our website, as I described, or as I told you about earlier, which is marylandapex.org. It enables our clients to have specific solicitation opportunities sent straight to your inbox based on keywords that your counselor will input for you, so that you're able to get that information sent. All right, so in terms of just to give you more context into APEX Accelerators as a whole, we have 96 APEX Accelerator centers, which are nationwide. So in order to see the specific list of locations for those for our specific centers, you can go to napex.us/locations. And just in case you do not stay in the state of Maryland, you're able to access other centers which are located across the nation. We also provide education and training to ensure that all businesses are capable of participating and competing on the federal, state, and local levels of government contracting. And again, all of these resources are available at no cost to you. APEX Accelerator, we serve over 56,000 clients annually, and we help them win more than 99 billion in government contracts and subcontracts. And so to provide you with more highlights in regard to the Maryland APEX Accelerator for the years of 2023 through 2024, we offered over 4,600 hours of individualized counseling, and we've helped over 2,000 business owners understand, prepare for, and enter government marketplaces with confidence. 3,900 event attendees, and also, let's see here. Oh yes, over $700 million. We've assisted small businesses in getting those contracts awarded to them within the past 2 years alone. Now, what do we do? First, we offer, as I mentioned before, that those one-on-one counseling sessions. Our support framework is built on these 3 specific pillars. We provide government marketing strategies. So that may include anything from reviewing your capability statement to ensuring that your small business profile is what it needs to be in order for government points of contact to understand the services and or goods that you offer. In regard to government registrations, we'll go into that in more depth in the later slides. We'll also talk about state and federal certifications, bid and proposal assistance, and SBIR, STTR counseling is also what we offer. In regard to training and outreach, we offer a series of trainings. One important series I recommend newcomers take a look at is How to Do Business With series. So that's anywhere from how to do business with the GSA, with DHA. If you do a Google search or a YouTube search under our Maryland APEX YouTube channel, you'll be able to see that series. We also provide trainings on RFP and RFQ responses, GSA schedule guidance, cybersecurity compliance, and more detail on the Defense Production Act. And then in regard to bid matching, what we do is we offer profile matched opportunities. So that goes back to what I discussed earlier about our bid match service. That is something that is provided to specifically our clients who are admitted into the Maryland APEX Accelerator program. We assist you in doing the research on opportunities that are in SAM, as well as other local bid boards, Defense Department contracts, as well as foreign trade opportunities. Now let's touch on the APEX Road to Success. We provide a roadmap that is customized to fit your needs based on your individualized business goals. So the first step would be connecting with you. We want to understand what your business goals are, and to be able to understand that, we look at it at a holistic, we provide you with a more holistic approach, meaning how do we understand, or how do we engage with you to understand what you want to do when it comes to priming or subcontracting. And so that's something that we do as we connect with you from a counselor and client perspective. We will also work on evaluating, providing you with an assessment of your contract readiness. So are your capability statement, is it where it needs to be? What are potential opportunities that you can look into? And this also includes looking through a readiness checklist. So we want to make sure that you are positioned to win, so that the foundation is laid for government contracting, which is very important. And so we're going to go into more detail into this in later slides. Also, we'll go into strategizing. So we as the counselors will provide you with a customized action plan, which will position you to lay the groundwork and understand how to win contracts. We will also walk you through the execution phase, meaning how to pull the thread on those specific opportunities. And then once you have executed those strategies, we'll provide you with ongoing support to help you to continue to work through those action plans, and to talk through, as we progress in sessions, what are some of the pitfalls that you're experiencing. And we actually assist in troubleshooting to provide you with those next steps to navigate through some of those roadblocks that you're experiencing with government contracting, until we reach that last point, which is success. So after you've gotten your first contract award, we continue to provide you support with scaling your business and diversifying your portfolio. And that part is key because, we know in light of the government shutdown on the federal level, diversifying your portfolio to ensure that you are positioned to win on the state and local levels will be very important, so that is all intertwined in your action plan. And intertwined in that also is providing you with steps that you'll need to take to continue to build on your pipeline. Okay, so what is government contracting? The government purchases a wide range of products and services. You name it, they will most likely purchase it. And so each level has its own its own processes. So whether it's local level contracting, state or federal, each of the processes are going to be different. But once you understand a process for one, you can potentially rinse and repeat that process for all of them. So we walk you through the steps on how to do that. And specifically for me, I encourage my clients to become the subject matter expert on how to do business with whatever agency they're interested in, whether it's the DHA, whether it's animal county public school, whatever that agency or entity is. I'll walk them through how to understand doing business with that particular entity. And again, rinse and repeat that. And so why consider government contracting? Well, one of the reasons is the US government is the world's largest buyers of goods and services. And specifically, the SBA requires 23% of opportunities to go to small businesses. And that data is pulled from the SBA scorecard. Every year, the SBA works with agencies to set their contracting and subcontracting goals. And so each agency has different goals, but that 23% of opportunities needs to go to small businesses. So keep that in mind. And with annual spending approaching $600 billion, that 23% equates to approximately $138 billion carved out for small businesses. So let's go ahead and talk about how the government buys. So there are several ways in which these purchases happen. One would be set-asides. So contracts are, in this case, contracts are reserved and set aside for small or certified businesses to promote diversity and competition. Also, I want to add to that and say that in regard to set-asides, there are small business set-asides or socioeconomic program set-asides. And that includes 8A certified firms, as well as HubZone, woman-owned small business firms, as well as service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. All right, and so in regard to priming versus subbing, what's interesting about that dynamic is that when it comes to priming on work, that particular vendor is contracted directly with the government to perform the work, whether it's providing a good or a service. But if you're looking to subcontract, you're looking to contract with that particular prime, not directly to the government agency. So a lot of times when we're advising clients, especially when they're brand new to government contracting, we recommend starting as a subcontractor until you're comfortable with that particular landscape. IDIQ contracts, those are indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts, and they are flexible contracts with task orders over time. And these specific contracts are best when the schedule or the quantity is unknown at the time of the contract award. BPAs, on the other hand, these are the blanket purchase agreements, and they're streamlined to order common goods and services repeatedly. So this is more for less complex projects. They typically have predictable and repetitive needs, and they're typically under the set threshold or the simplified acquisition threshold of 350K. So that threshold changed effective October 1 under the FAR overall, and it changed from 250K to 350K. And also want to emphasize that the OTA, other transaction authority, it's a flexible agreement often used for innovation and R&D projects. So that one provides more flexibility in regard to authority. Lots of times it will bypass the FAR, and it's used for research, development, and prototyping. And it allows for a more innovative approach when it comes to contracting methods. And you can look for some of those OTAs. They should be posted in SAM specifically. Okay, let's touch on the common contract structures. And so for those fixed price contracts, the contractor agrees to a predetermined price, tends to be riskier for the contractor, due to the contractor bearing responsibility for losses if those costs exceed the fixed price. So in order to learn more about that, I highly recommend taking a look at FAR 16 subpart 2. In regard to time and materials, the payment is based on hours worked plus materials. And then the max price is normally capped, and the labor and materials are at a set price. And so to get more context on that, I recommend taking a look at FAR 16.601. And in regard to labor hours, similar to time and materials, it's very similar to that, but it excludes material costs from reimbursement, meaning materials are not supplied by the contractor in that case when it's strictly labor hour contract structure. And for more context on that, you can refer to FAR 16.602. Now, for cost reimbursement, the government reimburses allowable costs, but requires more oversight and documentation. Okay, so establishes an estimate, of total cost for the purpose of obligating funds and establishing a ceiling that the contractor may not exceed without approval of the CO. And more information is found on that particular contract structure under FAR 16.3. All right, so now let's get into the certifications. So first of all, why do they matter? There are several reasons why these certifications matter. It opens the door to set aside contracts at the federal and state levels. It boosts the visibility with agencies and prime contractors. And another point I want to mention when it comes to certifications is that it will shrink your pool of competition. So instead of competing with other large or other small businesses, you are now competing with firms that have the same certifications that you have. So you definitely want to, any opportunity that you can have to shrink your pool of competition, you definitely want to take advantage of that. So some of the key federal certifications, meaning these are certifications that are on the federal level, it would be the SDB, which will be a self-certified certification, which you would attain through your SIM registration. So you're pretty much checking off that your firm is small and a small disadvantaged firm. Secondly, there is the 8A certification, which is for socially and economically disadvantaged businesses. And with that particular certification, you will have access to sole source awards. And then there's the Woman-Owned Small Business Cert, or the Economically Disadvantaged Woman-Owned Small Business Cert. And keep in mind that if you're deciding on which to pursue, you would look at the criteria on that is posted. And actually yes, it should be posted on the SBA's website. And if you decide to go after the EDWSB certification, then keep in mind that you automatically are considered a woman-owned small business certification as well. So for efforts that are slated to go or to be set aside for woman-owned small business certifications, then you can go after those because you have the EDWOSB certification. The other certification would be the fourth one would be the veteran-owned small business certification, or the service disabled veteran-owned small business certification. And then we also have the Hub Zone certification. So those are the main key federal certifications to look into under the SBA's website. Again, there's posted additional information on how to move forward with those certifications if you decide to do so. Now, for the state of Maryland, there are 3 key certifications to look into. One is the SPR, which is the Small Business Reserve. as well as the Minority Business Enterprise Certification and the Veteran-Owned Small Business Enterprise Certification. Want to add here that in regard to the MBE certification, if you attain that one, there is a list of MBE liaisons that is posted specifically under the Go MD smallbiz.maryland.gov. And there you will find an MBE liaison directory. And even before, if you qualify for the MBE certification, I recommend looking at that directory to see what are the list of state of Maryland agencies that have liaisons. Okay, so how to get started? So first, I recommend taking a look at FAR 9.104-1 to take a look at the responsibility standards. And so this is important because the government wants to ensure that vendors are deemed responsible. So one of the first things to look into is, are they able to obtain or do they currently have adequate financial resources? 2, are you able to comply with the required performance or delivery schedule? And that is going to be outlined in the solicitation. 3, do you have a satisfactory performance record in your field? So if you're looking to subcontract, then you want to ensure that the prime has the satisfactory performance record and have a satisfactory record of integrity and business ethics, have the necessary organization, experience, accounting, and operational controls and technical skills, have necessary production, equipment, facilities, etc., or ability to obtain. And that is key. The ability to obtain means that you can leverage other vendors as a prime to be able to leverage their production, equipment, and facilities as well. And then number 7, be otherwise qualified and eligible to receive a contract award. So I highly recommend taking a look at that particular regulation to get more detail on that to make sure that you're ready to get started. Okay, so getting started on the state and local contracting levels, that is considered low-hanging fruit. And especially with, considering the government shutdown right now, we definitely recommend starting at that level. And let's look into some details in regard to that. So state and local means city, county, school districts, transportation agencies, and more. It helps you to gain past performance with contracting. Typically, local agencies use their own procurement systems or they post in Emma. So I want to delve into that a bit more. So when you're starting with state and local contracting, I recommend registering in Emma, which is Maryland Marketplace. And you can do a Google search for that exact website. But once you're on there, you'll be able to see, even before you register, you'll be able to see what solicitations have been posted in regard to what the state of Maryland has been purchasing or are currently looking to purchase. So that's a good way to start doing some of the market research as well to see who is buying what you're selling. Now, lower hanging fruit than that, I would say, is looking into the Maryland County procurement sites. And so we have those particular procurement sites listed on the Maryland APEX.org website. It'll be found under resources and then under county contracting. Again, that's under Maryland APEX.org resources and then county contracting. And you're going to see a list of all of the counties in the state of Maryland along with their procurement sites. Now, if some of the links are not directing you to the correct web page, I recommend doing a Google search. And your search will say something like, for example, if you're looking to do business with Anne Arundel County, you want to type in Anne Arundel County's procurement office or Anne Arundel County purchasing. And you would use the same methodology for any county that you're looking to do business with. I recommend going in and registering as a vendor. Once you're ready and you've looked through the checklist on government contracting readiness, take a look at their newsletters, at their calendars, and following them on all of their socials. And that will assist you in starting to get emails and getting your feet wet when it comes to what are some of the solicitations that are out there. Okay, and then also remember to review the COMAR. And these are the Code of Maryland regulations. So that is something to definitely get familiar with. And specifically, as I went over before, the FAR will help you to get familiar with the regulations on the federal level. Okay, so your capability statement. So this ties into the marketing piece. On the capability statement, that is your one-page resume for specifically your business. It's just as important as you having a resume for your professional work. You also want to have a resume for your business. And so that is where this capability statement comes in. It will show your core offerings, past performance, all the certifications that you've attained, also any of personal certifications that you've obtained. You want to list those if they are relevant to the type of work that you're going after. You can create multiple versions of your capability statement depending on the type of work that you're going after. And so the SBA has a downloadable template, which you can take a look at if you do a Google search. But I also recommend the prior, I guess, slide 3 or 4, we talked about the 96 APEX centers. One of them is the North Cal APEX Accelerator. And so on their website, they provide you with a capability statement template as well. And so that's at www.apex and then norcal.org/services/capability statements. And you will see another downloadable template there. So include, again, a brief introduction paragraph, your core competencies, which, in regards to core competencies, which is what are some of those things that you know that you can offer that will reflect those things that the government point of contact will want to hire you for? What are those things that make you stand out? Similarly, your differentiators, key clients, past performance, your NAICS codes, certifications, contact information, websites, and photos. Okay, so how to get started. So this kind of ties back into your capability statement. That doing the research will enable you to populate your capability statement. So I touched on NAICS codes. So that is your North American Industry Classification System. And once you're on that particular website, you'll be able to find that online. You can use that tool you can type in keywords based on the goods and services that you want to offer and extract the NAICS that will be most appropriate for your business, as well as the United Nations Standard Product Service Codes. And those are specific to the state of Maryland. Now, I will say that in regard to EMMA and finding solicitations and finding work that is in alignment with your own capabilities, you're going to see that Emma utilizes your commodities codes. So when you're in Emma, you can do a search for commodities codes and see which ones will align with the products and services that you're offering. And then register your business. So on the federal level, if you're looking for federal work, you will register on sam.gov. And then again, if you're interested in state level work, state and local level work, I recommend registering on Emma. And then with the local government vendor systems, you would take a look at the list of counties that I just mentioned, or the city, Baltimore City, their procurement offices, and you will go in and register to become a vendor on those particular pages. Now, I also want to add in that you do not have to be a resident, or your business does not have to be in that specific county in order for you to do business with that county. So economic development centers operate a bit differently, where you need to be within that county or looking to move to that county in order to leverage the economic development center. But when it comes to registering, you can register under neighboring counties. Okay, so keep that in mind. Thirdly, have a viable business, provide services and or products that the government buys, have sales history demonstrating your experience, and meet all industry specific requirements. Okay. And I do want to mention something here, that in regard to having a viable business, you do want to ensure that you are leading with your capabilities. Although I did touch on the importance of having certifications, but make sure that you are strong with your capabilities, and you also want to be at a place where the government is not your first client. So make sure that that's why it talks about having a history of demonstrated experience. So you want to ensure that you have clients on either the commercial side, or if you offer services to individuals, that also counts as having history, or what we call past performance. So here are some tips for selling to agencies. Relationship building is huge. It's very important. You want to target agencies that purchase what your firm sells. And so I am going to touch on that, on how to do that, so that you're able to leave here with a few nuggets in regard to that. You want to understand their mission and their ongoing needs, learn how they prefer to communicate, and develop your unique value proposition. So in order to select an agency, you want to locate their procurement forecast and open bids. Number two, attend networking events and industry days. Subscribe to agency newsletters and prepare a capability statement and brief. Okay, so here's what I want to touch on a little bit deeper, is when it comes to procurement forecasts on the federal level, I recommend taking a look at the website, their website, which is the www.acquisition.gov, www.acquisition.gov/procurement-forecasts. And so taking a look at that website will enable you to do a search on who is buying what you're selling. So when I touched on NAICS codes, this is where you would use those NAICS codes to put into the search criteria. You also can put in keywords. You can select your desired location for where you want to offer your goods and services. There's a whole list of criteria that you can select. And once you hit enter, you will see a list of the awardees of that work, which they are your competitors today, but they might be your partners or primes tomorrow that you may want to work with. So take a look at those. And then number two, it will also list the agencies that have awarded that work to those awardees. So that's a really good tool to ensure that you're able to see who's buying what you're selling on the federal level. On the state level, though, I recommend going to GoMD small biz.maryland spelled out .gov/pages/forecasting. And for these websites, I will make sure that toward the end, if you all have questions, I'll put them in the chat as well. But on the state of Maryland level, this particular forecast will enable you to see for the state of Maryland what they are looking to purchase up to a year from now. So that is a really good tool to use. Now, keep in mind, the tool can be a bit quirky, so I recommend downloading the spreadsheet so that you're able to see a full list of what those forecasts are. Okay. So what government buyers and primes want? So they want expertise and reliability, quality over price. They value proven experts, meaning be the subject matter expert. A lot of times we, as in the counselors here at Maryland APEX, we will see that there are firms or business owners who are jacks of all trades, and that's okay from a certain perspective. If that means that you need to populate various or different capability statements, that's fine. But when you're meeting with the government buyers and primes, you want to lead with what you are the subject matter expert for in regard to the opportunity that you're discussing. Okay. Have a truthful approach, meaning straightforward communication that will build trust. Meaning, if there are certain aspects of the work that you can't perform, that is okay. Bring to the table the vendor or the prime that you're looking to partner with that will assist you in meeting that need. So being 100% truthful as to what you can offer and what you may not be able to offer, but what is your solution to that? Delivery commitment. So stand behind your promises and always deliver. So research is everything, which we touched on earlier. So to succeed in government contracting, it's essential to understand your client, not just what they buy, but why, how, and from whom they buy. Begin by exploring each agency's mission and acquisition culture. This insight allows you to it allows you to align your messaging and services with what matters most to them. So we're not stopping at taking a look at their procurement forecast. We're also taking a deeper dive into what is their culture and what are some things that you can glean from their website, and what are some things that you can glean from having conversations with their Office of Small Business Programs to be able to offer them a viable solution to their problems. You also want to, and that's a part of the second point, which is to gather the intelligence. So finding out through USA Spending, that's another tool that you can use to find out who is buying what you're selling. Number three, tracking those opportunities, monitoring the bid boards and the forecast list, which we touched on the bid boards, which examples of that would be under our website, we have the county contracting list. So that would be an example of a bid board, and tracking that and pulling the thread. Number 4, building your pipeline, create capture plans and business development strategies. And number 5, locate solicitations, be it on SAM, EMMA, Subnet, and local procurement portals. Okay, so you also want to be able to track your contract awards. And the first step on that would be to monitor the expiration. So when are these particular awards looking to expire? Once you know that expiration of that particular contract, then that will enable you to know, when they're looking to award the next one. So you want to monitor that, note the renewal dates, and another big piece, the third step, market early. So building those relationships, leveraging those procurement forecasts, all those things will help you to market early, meaning once you've taken a look at the procurement forecast and you're able to identify efforts that that you're eligible to pursue, then you can start having those conversations with those key players. Some of them will be listed on the procurement forecast in and of itself. So having conversations early, sending out your capability statement is definitely a great part of marketing early before the request for proposal or the RFQ is posted. Customer focused selling. So understand the problems, number 1. Know their specific expectations for resolution. So for example, when you are looking to, or when you are looking at the various counties that you're looking to do business with, once you see that they have, for example, a pre-bid meeting, going in and having conversations to see, okay, what are some issues and difficulties that they might be having with the current contract that they may not have discussed or may not spell out in the actual solicitation. So understanding that problem and going that extra mile to understand the problem will be definitely advantageous to you. Read the solicitations thoroughly, focus on the statement of work, instructions, and how the work is going to be evaluated, and make sure that you're meeting all the requirements. Okay, and then what not to do. So don't rely on others. Outsiders can't do direct selling for you. Don't assume status helps, meaning, so in this case, certifications add value, but they don't guarantee awards. So again, leading with your capabilities will be key in regard to going after work and making sure that that the government points of contact will take your business seriously. And back on what I mentioned earlier about don't be a jack of all trades. So you want to show that you are a subject matter expert in that particular industry. And speaking of that, that makes me think on the capability statement. When you're listing your NAICS codes, don't recommend listing 10 to 20 NAICS codes. You want to list the NAICS codes that are within one industry so that, again, that particular government point of contact will see you as the subject matter expert. So what to do is do your homework, which includes the research and asking questions, meaning during that market research phase, as you're looking through the procurement forecast. You want to ensure that as you're meeting those decision makers and key players, that you're asking questions. You want to network actively, attend industry events, plugging in, which a lot of you have. That's why you're here. You've plugged into your economic development centers within your county. I also recommend plugging into your Chamber of Commerce and being persistent and patient, consistent in marketing, which will build your relationship. Send out that capability statement to the procurement offices, to small business programs. Make sure that they are aware of what you offer. And you want to do this before the RFP is posted. Listen and don't lecture. So, it's great that you want to offer an innovative solution, but if they're not looking for innovation, then you want to make sure that you're offering them exactly what they're asking for. And yes, definitely focus on that. That listening part is definitely key to offering them solutions that they're looking for. Okay, so let's summarize those next steps. Again, register. Make sure that for the state of Maryland that you're in good standing with the state of Maryland, because sometimes with certain procurement offices, that's the next thing that they're going to look into is to see, is your business in good standing? Business resources, website, email, business account. Make sure that those are established. And that's a part of your digital profile. That's making sure your website and your email domain, making sure that they both are professional and that when procurement officers are looking to do, looking for viable bidders, that those are where they need to be. Your past performance, demonstrate actual work and sales generated. And then number 4, apply to our program. And Yasmin went over that. Download and review your contract readiness checklist. That'll be a key component to make sure that you're ready to take those next steps. And then take a look at the SBA contracting guide on how to get started in government contracting. Some support resources would be the Maryland SBDC, the Women's Business Centers, SCORE Mentoring, Maryland Business Opportunity Center, as well as if you're a veteran, check out the Veteran Business Outreach Center. All right, Yasmin, so I think we are ready for questions.
Thank you, Amina. That was a great presentation. Okay, now's your opportunity to ask Amina your questions by typing them in the chat box, or you may have missed something that was earlier mentioned that you'd like it to go over again. Okay, so the first question we have is, when I'm bidding on solicitations, is bidding solicitations the only way to do business with state and local government?
So that's not the only way. What for state and local, what you want to look into is for lower hanging fruit is to look into what is called simplified acquisitions. So they're going to be within the range of about 10K to 15K or lower. So you can look specifically for micro purchases. And the best way to look for those is to start with the county contracting procurement websites. And then as you are looking into those solicitations, you will start to find the points of contact and you can start reaching out to find out, okay, who are the micro purchase card holders for those specific entities.
Okay, thank you. Okay, another question we have, and I would say this is probably our most popular question. We get it nearly every webinar, which is, if I don't have experience as a business owner, how do I prove past performance?
Yes. So one of the things that you can do in regard to past performance is you can leverage the past performance of a prime contractor. So establishing those relationships. Some of the recommendations that I have is one, when it comes to meeting primes, there's literally an organization called Meet the Primes, where you can go in, register for them, take a look. They normally have events, I want to say 3 or 4 times per year. Take a look at what they post in regard to those events so that you can start literally meeting primes and being willing to do the research and bring those opportunities to primes will be definitely important. The other piece that I recommend is that if you're looking to prime sooner rather than later, building on that past performance will be key. One of the easiest, or I would say it's never easy, but one of the lowest hanging fruit when it comes to building on your past performance is to look for 1099 opportunities. So that pretty much means that you would go and you would pretty much go through the interview process as if you're looking to pursue a W-2 opportunity. But within those conversations with that vendor, you're going to say, well, I'm not interested in a W-2 opportunity. I'm interested in you bringing me on as a 1099. That way, you will start to be able to invoice. Most of the time, it's you'll be invoicing that particular vendor every 30 days. You'll be able to start generating income under your business, and that classifies as past performance.
Okay, thanks for that. And I've also posted a link in the chat to watch our How to Prove Past Performance webinar.
Wonderful.
There's a lot of useful information in our YouTube channel that covers a lot of these questions, answers to these questions. So please take some time to review the offerings. Okay, let's see if there's anything that I've missed. Oh yeah, somebody said that they are bombarded by irrelevant solicitations on Emma that have nothing to do with their UNSPSC codes. Do you know why this is?
Yes. So there's several things that could be the issue. One could be the way in which you registered. So depends on the commodities codes that you entered, and maybe it's sending you solicitations based on those commodities code. That could be a reason. So that's what I would recommend is taking a look at how you registered and what commodities codes or UNSPS codes that you put in when you registered.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we have time for today. I think we answered most of the questions. If we didn't get to your question, you can email me directly, or you can email Amina, and we will try and get that sorted for you. So I'd like to thank Amina, and I'd like to thank Anna Rundle, Economic Development Corporation, for collaborating with us on this. And if you have any questions, if you're an Anna Rundle business and you have any, I'm sorry, who was that? Did you say something, Amina?
Oh, no, that's fine. Someone entered the office. You're fine.
Oh, okay. So sorry about that. I just wanted to check that if you're an Anne Arundel business and you need assistance, you can please check them out on the in the chat that I put the link for assistance. Other than that, we welcome you to register for future classes. All our classes are recorded, are available on our YouTube channel. And honestly, any question you have about getting into government contracting, we most likely have already answered it in depth on one of the classes. So take some time to have a look on our YouTube channel and also to sign up for future classes. So I'd like to thank Amina, Barbara, and everybody for participating today. And we hope to see you again at a future APEX event. So thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Yasmin. Take care, everyone.